talking about customer journeys, and who better to join me than my campaign manager of email marketing and CRMs, Marino. Thanks for coming back.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, let's start. What's a customer journey?
Well, I would say that there are a number of tools out there that can support you better understand your customers, and customer journey is one of the tools that you might consider to achieve a better understanding of your personas. But in a nutshell, basically, it's a framework that has different stages and different levels of detail that you can elaborate on it, where it allows you to have a clear visibility about all the touch points, all the components that your customer experiences throughout the different stages when buying from you or considering to buy from you. Basically, it's a framework that supports you to better understand where they go, what are their problems, their pain points, their expectations. And by having this clarity, chances are that we're going to kind of better serve them in the end of the day.
Yeah. And in mapping a customer's journey, it's not always like a chronological map. It's like very much something where they're hitting all of these different stages, right? Mm-hmm. What is it that we can recommend to others to start customer journey mapping?
Well, before we start, we need to understand that there's no way to develop a customer journey not knowing who this person is. What are your customers, right? So there's a homework that needs to be done before jumping into the actual customer journey development, which is the process of identify your customer, their expectations, interview, collect information from there, their characteristics, their behaviors, their demographics, etc. And by having more detail put on paper about all this information from your customers, yes, indeed, you can kind of outline what are all the touch points that your customer, because you might have more than one kind of customer, different segments, this kind of thing. But as soon as you have opportunity to distribute across all the stages of a given customer journey, all the touch points, all the steps that your customer goes through, you have the opportunity to identify more effectively their needs, their expectations, etc. Okay. For context, it's important to clarify that typically speaking, we are talking about at least 4 stages: awareness, consideration, conversion, and retention. And depending the industry that you are in, we can potentially split up the retention stage into between 4 to 7 additional 3 to 5 stages, in a way that across this number of stages, you have more detail. You have a breakdown about every single one of the expectations for each one of the states. Mm-hmm. And again, by building this put on paper, you have better visibility about their expectations at the end of the day.
Right. So at a starting point, you definitely need to have that target demographic nailed down, like really understanding who that is that your target customer is, what they're shopping for, and then in trying to determine where they're feeling that pain. Is it safe to say that like the first stages that very simply people can look at as the customer journey stages that they're at are these simple awareness, interest, desire, and action stages, and then you build upon those ones?
Yeah, absolutely. Imagine that you are hoping to target a specific segment, and we cannot assume that that particular segment is completely aware about your offer. So you have to have content that supports, in this particular example, the awareness stage, with content that people can get a better sense or initial sense about your offer, right? As soon as they are interacting with your brand, which can be, let's say, visiting your website, interact on social, etc. So then therefore, there's opportunity to consider for the subsequent stage, which is the consideration stage, more in-depth content about your offer, right? In a way that you are serving your potential client in that particular stage, which is the next one. So, and that's the game. So basically, if you are intentionally including content or nesting content under each one of the stages, better service you're going to do for your potential clients.
Yeah, I think it's like, even to just have that framework is so helpful. Like once I've seen customer journey mapping for our clients, I think I've seen light bulbs go off in their head where they're suddenly like, oh my God, like everything we thought we were doing, like spinning around keywords, trying to, just keep up with algorithms and everything. It's all straightened out. And there's this sense of clarity because when you divide those questions that people have based on what stage that they're in, they're distinctly different. Like they might be a question that's like, at one stage, it's a little bit more like, you have no idea what the industry is. At the next stage, it's like you have a bit more information about the industry, but now you're asking more specifics, right?
Yeah, I believe the customer journey is one of those examples where we believe that you know something about something, but as soon as you put on paper, you realize that you don't know anything. Basically, you're learning more about something that theoretically speaking, supposedly you are completely an expert. This is the beauty of this kind of exercise, developing customer journeys. As soon as you put on paper, first of all, you have to stop. You have to intentionally dedicate some level of effort developing the customer journey. Again, you have to understand the characteristics of this person that you are trying to address and develop in a customer journey. But as soon as you intentionally dedicate some time to create this journey, you realize that, oh my Lord, there's opportunity here to do this. There's opportunity to do that. There's a gap here that's completely uncovered. So there's opportunity potentially to more often talk about XYZ. So you create some aha moments about things that potentially are going to be extremely important for your business when putting together content.
Yeah. I think when we have new clients, they often just want to have us go. When's the first post going? When's the first email being sent? What's the page? Like, what are you going to put on the page? How are we going to make these changes? And when they're looking for action, I think the forgotten element is all of that strategy around customer journey mapping, right?
Yeah, exactly.
For customer journey mapping, what would you say is something that a brand could do to increase sales?
Well, as soon again, if you have different stages, as we discussed, awareness, consideration, conversion, as a small example, let's imagine that for each one of these stages, just as an example again, you have a number of touch points that your customer goes through. Basically, they have some kind of interaction. Okay, so you do have indeed the opportunity to. You need analytics to support this process, right? But as soon as you have some data to support and show you and tell you how many people are landing on a given page, for instance, drove by emails or social media, etc., you have the opportunity to rethink about the user experience. So yes, maybe on one hand, you have content that is driving traffic to a given page and people are resonate with this content. But on the other hand, we cannot forget that humans will interact with that page. And if that page is not, let's say, user-friendly or clear enough, delivering the content and the answers they are looking for in that particular experience, indeed you have opportunity. We have a situation that you are potentially are losing money. So I would recommend pay attention to all the transition points between each one of these states, because between each of these states we have friction points for sure in every single stage, and indeed these particular transitions are the points where we have opportunities to analyze how we are being effective converting people from one stage, from consideration over to conversion, etc. So analyzing, which basically forces you to kind of rethink about everything that you have in your plan in a way that you can, okay, are we being effective? How many people we are moving from one stage to another? How many people we're doing a good service by delivering the information they're looking for? So that's the exercise that is completely comparable. You can compare every single season, every single month. So there's different ways to analyze. But in a nutshell, you do have opportunity to, as soon as you have the clarity about what are the touch points that customers interacts with, you have the opportunity to identify what are the opportunities to improve these conversions between all the states.
Yeah. I think a lot of brands do tend to struggle with the fact that the touch points may not all be on a website, right? Like, and we are in the business of building websites, but I think the original thinking is that, the whole touch point is going to be like homepage, about page, service page, and then like conversion on like, a form page or a cart. But the complexities there are that, some of those touch points are going to be your emails. They're going to be like videos and content they might see online, and the rest of the content that you're creating around the brand, right? Yeah.
Imagine even after the conversion, regardless of the industry, if you're selling a service or a product, imagine your customer receiving the thing that they have purchased, right? Are you delivering the information post-purchase, the necessary post-purchase information to make them the most of their investment? Are you making them excited? So there are two components. There are components where are potentially some things that you have to revisit your journey and remove the friction points. Is one of the components where business can make more money, more increase their sales. But on the other hand, there's opportunity as well to use these friction points that we know that exist as opportunities to wow your clients. Basically flip the table and to convert those friction points as opportunities to create a memorable experience for your brand. So why not? So it's all about intentionality, but I would be extremely skeptical to believe that that would be possible without putting on paper, without outlining all the pain points for each one of the states in a way that you're discussing here.
I know, and I think it's often forgotten that after that conversion, there is so much loyalty that can happen after that. There are so many communication touch points that you can add on to really get that lifetime value out of your customers, rather than, saying like, let's start anew, like bring more and more people through the door, right?
Exactly. Yeah. The same way that like as marketers, typically we think how we can improve conversions. Yeah, we have to think about awareness, consideration, conversion. But indeed, after conversion, you have the opportunity to design the future of your relationships with your clients. Okay, you have more control over this process. Often, I don't know why business tends to neglect this thinking, and they leave a lot of money on the table by not thinking about what we can do in order to support our actual clients or customers, make the most of our products, how we can make them recommend them us to others, how we can make them potentially consider other products, other services that we also offer. So all the stages that happens after the conversion, definitely there is a lot of opportunity to explore in that avenue.
Yeah. Speaking of leaving money on the table, what are mistakes that you often see happen with brands that are getting into the campaign creation surrounding user journey mapping?
There's a number of things. Potentially, I would say, there's a few, but one for sure is to assume that every single customer has exactly the same journey. This is a big mistake. So normally business, they have different segments, different industries, different segments. And then for every single segment, obviously you should have a dedicated customer journey that supports the expectations, or at least fulfill the expectations of that particular segment, right? If you put all the segments, all the personas into the same bucket, chances are that the message is not going to resonate with that particular segment, right? Yeah. So then the problem is not the strategy or the customer journey, but the lack of detail or consideration about the needs of that particular segment. Yeah. So it goes back to the homework component of that precedes the actual customer journey development, which, okay, who is this customer? Yeah. What are the personas, details, expectations, characteristics, etc. Yeah. And as soon as you have clarity about how many segments I would like to target, it's just a matter to create a dedicated customer journey for each of them.
That's where clients get overwhelmed. The segmentation part, right? Like the many different segments, or, they kind of know there are many different industries, but I think even just like starting to define that like each of those industries has a slightly different target demographic is like very overwhelming to think about if you don't just stop and sit in that person's shoes for a second, right? Yeah,
imagine Airbnb developing a customer journey. There's a customer journey for the people who are renting a place. But at the same time, you do need I believe they have a customer journey for the people who are renting their places, right? Two complete distinct audiences under the same umbrella, under the same business, right? But different needs, different expectations, etc. So indeed, you need to have more granular detail, more control in a dedicated journey for each of the segments. Otherwise, the message is not going to resonate with none of them.
Yeah. How does this exercise help retain clients?
I believe it's beneficial because as soon as, again, you have a journey on paper, you have the opportunity to implement campaigns more effectively, because you have to obviously the opportunity to go back and analyze, okay, we have come up with this number of pain points that we have identified, we have incorporated them into our communications, into our message. And then if you implement campaigns addressing those pain points, obviously you have the opportunity to analyze how we did, right? And then we have the opportunity to revisit the customer journey. I don't believe that the customer journey should be a permanent document. So it's a document that can be used as a kind of roadmap for implementation, okay? And again, as a business owner, if you have access or it has the opportunity to refer to this document as we roll out the strategy, you do have the opportunity to make the most of this investment, and why not use it as a tool to guide future initiatives. So I see as a valid mechanism if implemented right, in a way that you can use as a roadmap for future reference. But not as on the other hand, if you consider simply, because I just heard that social media or TikTok is nice or powerful, or I just heard that, I don't know, email offers the best ROI out there. The channel is not the solution, but where the message is nested across the journey is the key in order to have a successful campaign.
I think a lot of people need to hear that the channel is not the solution. Now, in terms of user journey mapping for clients, what kind of successes have you seen in implementing a process like this?
I believe first is clarity and awareness about what are the pain points that we are trying to address, right? It supports the team to have more focus about what we should share or incorporate into our message. I believe remove the guesses or the doubts or the uncertainty about what we should share. Because again, if you have a list of 10, 15 pain points, it's just a matter to come up with content that addresses those pain points, right? I believe this is one of the big things, big components that supports effectively the customer journey implementation, right? We have seen opportunities to improve content that it's already available, already exists. So we have opportunity, not necessarily to reinvent the wheel every time. So definitely there is opportunity to revisit what's available and make the most of it in a way that we can better support future customers. This is one of the things that I have noticed recently as aha moments that supports the idea to have a customer journey in campaign execution.
Yeah. I mean, map is right in the process, right? And this like map that we need to create for ourselves and our clients has everything to do with like following a given plan, because otherwise like too much of marketing is throwing spaghetti at the wall.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else to add, Marino, about customer journey mapping?
No, I believe that just to wrap up everything, I strongly recommend this kind of exercise. Again, there's a number of tools out there, but out of all the tools I have seen so far, the customer journey is one of the better encompasses everything that we're discussing in this conversation today. And it's valid, it's relevant, regardless of the person in the team, regardless if you are a marketer, a business owner, or simply someone who is it's participant in the company or a team member, whatever. As soon as you have opportunity to get together a team that's working together and use this kind of tool, it brings clarity for all the participants, and more clarity you get, better and more quality content you're going to develop.
Yeah, I think it's like a framework that really helps bring alignment with us and with our clients.
Yeah, so in times with so much noise out there, clarity is king. Yeah, it's a must.
Let's simplify things, right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Marino, for your time and sharing everything you know about customer journey mapping. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching this video. If you got something out of it, please like, subscribe, or share it with your friends.